Okay, YouTubers, this is the Angry Prepper. Thank you for joining me on the Angry Truth channel. So today's video, we're going to talk about the unconstitutional impeachment. Now, we all know what the outcome to that impeachment was. A lot of us sort of knew that outcome was going to happen. I think the Democrats and the Republicans knew. But there's a bigger issue at hand. They were impeaching, or they impeached a sitting president, but then they continue to go through with the process of a president who is no longer president, which meant the impeachment process at the Senate was null and void, because impeachment is only for sitting presidents. Being that he was no longer a sitting president, the case, if you will, was supposed to be dropped. This impeachment process was now deemed illegal once he was no longer president. Here's the kick in the dick, guys. The Democrats knew it was a null and void situation once he wasn't president anymore. They knew it was an illegal process, but they continued to go along with it because they wanted to stop President Donald Trump from running for presidency in 2024. This was all to stop him from running for presidency in 2024. So now, a guy who probably wasn't thinking about running, you just pissed him off. And just so that he rocks the boat in 2024, I absolutely hope he runs for president. I absolutely hope he pisses people off, because I think next time the election's going to be super fucking tight, especially after we watch President Biden destroy this country for the next 4 years. So, being that he's definitely headed down that path, he's doing a smash-up job pissing people off already, and not just pissing people off, but he's also pissing off the left. Unconstitutional, illegal impeachment of President Donald Trump, back to that issue, is that it seems like the Democrats are going to do whatever the fuck they want to do. They're going to be like, you know what? We're going to fucking make up laws and rules because we can. Look at all the executive orders President Biden signed his first day in office, his first week in office, right? Over 40, something like 43 executive orders, because he could, overturning Donald Trump's legacy, if you will, just because he's a spiteful prick. That's not a president. President's supposed to worry about this country and not changing another president's shit because you're a spiteful prick. So, James Madison, one of the, co-writers of the Constitution, said that impeachment is for a sitting president only. He wrote that in the Federalist paper back in whenever the fuck he wrote that, right? So, again, this is a standing rule or law, if you will, and the Democrats decided to change it. And they didn't listen. I get what they were doing. They were trying to rush that impeachment process to impeach him so that they can keep running with it. But it doesn't work that way. Once you're no longer president, that is null and void. Now, some people made a shitty comparison. Well, what if a doctor killed somebody on the hospital table, and then quits so that he doesn't get in trouble and charges? The last time I checked, doctors killing somebody for malpractice is not in the Constitution. So in the Constitution, guys, in the very Constitution that all politicians should read, and they absolutely don't. I know they don't, because if they fucking did, they wouldn't be going through destroying this country the way they are. And this is both sides, guys. This is Republicans and Democrats. They're absolutely not reading the fucking Constitution. I think a prerequisite to being a politician, at least in the high table, like the Senate, Vice President, President, even working in the House of Representatives, you definitely should know the Constitution. You should know the Constitution like the back of your hand. That should be a fucking test, actually. You want to fucking work as a politician in D.C., you have to know the Constitution back and forth, right? Verbatimly. So that there's no fucking discrepancies on what we could take away from the people and what we can't. But clearly they don't. And even though at the time they try to take these rules away from us, or laws away from us, or reverse them, they clearly don't know that they can't, because they write these outlandish bills. So, being that in the Constitution, it states that only a sitting president can be removed from presidency. So, now that President Trump was a private citizen, they set precedent to impeaching a private citizen, right? So now, again, guys, they set precedents with this, because if they don't like somebody running for president, because he threw his hat in the ring, you're going to impeach him, or you're going to wait till he becomes president and then try to impeach him? Because impeaching President Trump on free speech, impeaching President Trump on the idea that he might have incited a riot was completely false. The Democrats were destroyed on Friday by videos of Democrat politicians talking and inciting the riots that were incited for the last 6 months or 7 months here in the United States. So they were destroyed. And all you guys have to do is look at the impeachment trial of day 2, I think it is, and the defense team, Trump's defense team, destroys the Democratic Party. Not even just, the politicians that were there, the entire Democratic Party. So again, look that up, watch the impeachment trial. You get to the point where they start playing all these videos of all these politicians saying some hateful shit. Listen, let me walk it back. Not saying they incited a riot, because I hate people using the fact that we're going to start blaming other people for other people's actions. I think that's complete bullshit. Everybody's in control of their own actions. We start blaming other people for inciting violence, then in that case, everyone's at fault for something. We can't do that. We can't start saying, well, this guy incited that riot, this guy incited that fucking looting event. No, these people are responsible for their own actions. Period. The Capitol event, they're responsible for their own actions. People rioting throughout the fucking city, responsible for their own actions. We're not going to sit here and start blaming politicians. Now, yes, BLM, they actually incited riots and then they went through with it. Different subject, different story. But politicians, even Kamala Harris, who I fucking do not like, but saying we have to go hard and keep going. You want to say she incited a riot? Fine. But still, at some point when you're breaking into a store, you know what you're doing is bad. So that shit is on you. That's not on politicians. Now, what also made this impeachment illegal, if you will, and unconstitutional, is something called a bill of attainder, right? So bill of attainder is an act of legislature declaring a person or a group of persons guilty of a crime and punishing them, often without a trial. Now, they absolutely impeached President Trump, with no evidence, no real trial. It was super speedy. And then they moved it to the Senate, and that's why the Senate dropped it, because they're like, fuck that. It's not enough evidence. The timeline that the Democrats actually lied about on national TV was insane. Being that I was there, people were already making a move to the Capitol around 11:15 or so, 11:30. Trump didn't get on stage till 12:30. Those people were already there at the Capitol by the time he was on stage. It was a 20-minute walk, if you will. Maybe less than that, depends on how fast you're moving. Now, he was already in his first part of the speech and talking about the election and things like that. Those guys were already at the Capitol. Like I said, the Democrats sat there and lied and said at noon he was speaking, and at I think 12:10, 12:15 they started breaking in. He didn't get into his second part of the speech where they thought he was inciting till probably around 12:45 or so. Damn near 45 minutes into his speech. Or half hour in the speech, sorry. So, still, not inciting a riot because those guys were already going at it. But yet the Democrats lied on national TV about how he incited a riot. And they lied about the timeline. So anyway, guys, this is a quick video on the unconstitutional impeachment of President Trump. We all know it was bullshit. It was a fucking show. It was a song and dance. And what happened? He was found not guilty. Anyway, guys, this is the Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching. You can like and subscribe to this channel. You can also follow me on Instagram. And thank you for watching.